Welcome back, Parker Ray.
Welcome back, boys.
Everybody in the room. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough month. It's been a rough Q4 altcoin season. How are you, Parker? How's everybody in the chat? We've got some stuff we want to go over. You good?
Yeah, we're surviving. Definitely bloody, like you said. Definitely been a rough one.
You know what's funny? As I was kind of like writing points for this video last night, because I knew you wouldn't do anything. Such a funny story. There was a girl, basically, she was panicking that one of her stock accounts, right? She thought this, and this just relates back to a lot of Jeffries in this market, right? So she bought some stocks, maybe spent 10K baht, which is like $300, and she logs onto the account and she sees it's worth like 8K. So she lost 2K baht, which is like $60. And she's like, oh, I need to sell this right now. It's just so funny how like this was just so relevant. And I'm like, she's losing sleep over this. She's trying to find her email and password to log into this fucking stock account in Thailand to sell and just take a 2K baht loss, which is $60 or whatever. I just think that was so funny because like everybody, all the Jeffries right now in this market are starting to do the same thing. You know, as I make this video and as we've been talking about on this channel, we're at the 90K levels. You know, we've had Bobby on yesterday. We did technically whip below 90K, but we were immediately bought back up, so he didn't count that. We're at these levels that he's been calling, and it's, I don't know if we're going to stay there or how long that's going to be the case, or if we do get that reversal. But we did break that 50-week moving average, which some people think is pretty bad. I don't know about you, Park, if you look at that stuff. That's what he was saying. That's what some other people like to say. I don't know if you look at that and what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I see his point. I still think we have that potential for the lower 80s to come in, but I am still planning to big buy that. Fear is getting close to its all-time high, low, however you want to look at it. And I feel like it's never been a bad thing to buy up that fear.
Here's some more stats. The fear and greed index is now at those 15 levels, which is the lows of, I guess, back in April. I think we were at 75,000. You know what's funny, right? We're at 15. Let's think about this. We're talking about Bitcoin here. We're not going to talk about altcoins. We're at 15. The 15's lows of like April, May, whenever that was on this chart right now. You know what price Bitcoin was, Parker? Without cheating, without anybody cheating. What was the price of Bitcoin?
When? You said back in April?
Yes.
75, all-time low?
75. Well done. So we're at 15 levels, but we've still got another 20K on the table. If you think about that. So it's just like, it's not that bad. Now, how low can this really go? I don't know.
Hey, chill.
How low can this really go? But I'm just saying, we're still 20 grand up. And again, as I've always said, and we're going to talk about in this video, I don't know, like the 16K is still a long way to the 1992. You know, if we come down to 84, like you were saying before, or whatever, we still have had a nice run. The problem is that we haven't had the altcoin season, and that's what I want to talk about in this video, because of a lot of our coins haven't came close to 2021's bull run high, which is frustrating because a lot of us took big bets on altcoins that didn't want to buy Bitcoin at even 16, 17, 18K because it was too effing expensive, and I get that. But just remember, it's not as much about getting one Bitcoin you can start to accumulate, because you're probably in this, at least for me, for decades, right? I don't know about you, Parker, but I'm here for decades, hopefully, if this is the way.
It's a very long-term game, yeah.
The other thing I want to say, I don't know if he's in chat, but there's, you know, TJ from our group. He sent me a message the other day, and he was like, look, looks like we're holding till 2029, bro. I thought it was funny, but I also got pissed off because, you know, I'm seeing a lot of YouTube comments, and this is absolutely fine, roast me, like, I've round-tripped again, it's 4 years back in the game. I've learned some stuff, definitely this bull run. I don't know about you. It's got to the case where you definitely can't buy anything, okay? You're definitely not promised anything in a bull run in cryptocurrency. There's nothing guaranteed, like literally nothing guaranteed. I think bar from death and taxis, as people say in your country. In the UK, not so much taxis. Wink, wink. Anyways, 2029. He said that to me in a, you know, we've had a portfolio. I'll just show you the numbers. I don't know if you want to share your numbers, Parker. Don't actually, because you're from US. But I'll just tell you the numbers. My portfolio high is 1.3. I'm at 874, so I've lost 500K. And I said to that girl last night, oh, you've lost 2K back. You've lost $60. I'm down 15 million baht on paper.
When you say it like that.
No, that's true. That's true. And she looked at me and said, oh, no, let me get the password. Let me try and sell this stock. The funny thing was, it was a T stock as well. She didn't take advantage of like any of the US companies, etc. She invested in a tea business and she worried why she was down. And she had this stock since 2021. Okay. So just think about that. We're still ahead of the game to some of these people. Okay. And it's no disrespect towards her. It just shows you like the mindset of people losing $60 is like, I got to get this out. I got to get this out. I mean, I know it's all relative. If you have $1,000 and you lose $200, 20%, it's a lot of money. It is relative, but you know, just think how some of the big boys are feeling. You know, some of the even bigger boys in our group that are way ahead of me, you know, they're probably down a couple of million. The guys out there on YouTube, the Alex Beckers, etc. I don't know how much he's done. I don't know. 10 million, 5 million. So it's all relative, right? But again, you've not lost until you've sold. Unless I was to sell and take the 500K loss. Well, I'm still up 500K for this bull run. It's nice, but I refuse to sell right now, at least.
Yeah, like you said, it's all relative. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense too. But definitely taking profit's an important thing. But I wouldn't be selling here at the bottoms, locking in that big old loss. Definitely not a good idea. Chat's saying, Jake, why don't you just sell 50% of your bag in case you're wrong and keep the rest?
Because we talked about this last time. We talked about this last time, and this is just my situation. Okay, so let's say I sold 50% of my bag. Okay, and we look at the portfolio, and I cash out 400K. What am I going to put that 400K into? Now, this is my personal situation. You know, if you want to quit your job, invest in the stock market, and get yourself out of that 9 to 5, you should fucking do that. But for me, I've got 400K in my bank account. Okay, nice. But then what? I need to keep the money going, at least for me, because I know how fucking hard inflation is. And I'm talking about inflation to the real world. I'm not talking about to the grocery shopping. I'm talking about the real assets that I want to accumulate, the houses, the yachts, maybe one day, Bitcoin itself, although it's going down. But the real assets to me are is higher than an inflation of 3%. I don't know the true value of that, but the real assets is way higher. The real inflation rate to people like us, I would say, is higher than 3%. I think Michael says this all the time. You know, if you've got kids, etc., I think college tuition or whatever you call it has like doubled in the last 4 years or whatever. So the real inflation, if you're trying to save for the future and your kids, etc., is more than 3%. So I've got 400K in my bank account. Well, it's like, now what? Where do I put it? Because I know, let's just say it's, I don't know real inflation, but let's just say it is 3%, whatever. Or let's just say it's 10% to the real stuff. Well, every single year that I wait, I'm losing $40,000. So I'm panicking. I'm in more probably panicking having that money in my bank account, and let alone the UK only insures you up to £85,000. So now I've got all these other bank accounts where I'm panicking about, okay, maybe this bank does close down. Not to say that, well, it's so unlikely, especially in the UK, although the UK is having some hard times right now. Where do I put it? Do I try and find a real estate property that I don't want, that I've been there and done that before? Do I put it in the S&P 500 that's struggling as well? Where do you put it? Do I put it in gold?
Yeah,
well, I
this
don't
is a
want
point
gold.
where if I was heavy in cash, this is a point I'd be looking to invest in crypto and get in on these dips too. So this is not a time where I'm looking to pull out. I'm at least going to wait for a nice bounce to the upside before I take those profits.
Yeah. So why don't, I don't know who said that. Yeah. So this guy Champion 901, why don't you just sell 50% of your bag just in case you're wrong and keep the rest in case? Because 50% of my bag is in Bitcoin, give or take. There's $420,000 in Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin, and I've always said if I was to die or just forget about crypto and come back in 10 years' time, I would confidently say that Bitcoin's still going to be there and it's going to be worth more. I don't know if it's going to double. I don't know if it's going to triple. I don't know if it's going to be 1.5x. I don't know if it's going to be the same or even less. But there's nothing else that I would rather hold than to be able to come back on a plane on my Trezor and carry that Bitcoin with me, you know, and then go to America, back to Thailand. I like the flexibility of being in control and not having somebody else in control. You know, because when you start looking at gold, when you start looking at stocks, when you start looking at real estate, you're never actually in control of your assets. Something bad can always happen. Okay, and then you start renting out a property, etc. We know from our group how many guys have jumped ship, starting to sell their portfolios in terms of real estate to get in cryptocurrency because they're sick of the headaches. They're sick of actually not being in control. Real estate sounds great, and it is a good avenue if you get a big amount of money, but the guys that we've spoke to is just like, well, you've got these toilets breaking down. You've got, I don't know, your property managers that they do manage it for you, but they're still giving you phone calls about a broken toilet. So I don't want that. I've always wanted the life, at least for me, when I was 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old, on the come up trying to make money, I wanted the least stress and I wanted full control. So if I was to sell that to answer that question, what would I sell it to? And I don't have the answer to that. So like, that's why. Maybe I sell the portfolio and I double my Bitcoin and I have 8 Bitcoin, whatever the maths would be. Might not be a bad strategy, but I don't know. I still believe in these altcoins, some of them, long term. I don't know what they're going to be short term. Short term, they're terrible. You know, if we scroll down here, most of my green stuff, I mean, the H bar is now 78 grand in profit. This was 278 grand in profit when it was at 40 cents. It's tough. It sucks. But I've been H bar for long enough. Ethereum, I don't know if Ethereum's going to survive long term, but I think in 10 years' time, it's going to be worth $3,000. If I was to say to you, Parker, is Ethereum going to be worth more than $3,000 in 10 years' time? Bullet to the head. You have to choose. What would you say?
I have to choose yes. I have to choose yes.
Have to
sure
choose
as
yes.
hell hope so.
Would you say Solana, 138, 10 years?
More questionable, but over 138, of course.
Yeah. Everything else, yeah, we're taking bets. 100%, but that's what cryptocurrency is about. When I built this portfolio, it was like, okay, I want to get back the Bitcoin I lost in Celsius. I want to get as much Ethereum as possible, which I did do. And then I want to start stacking the other coins that are more risky that we believe in, right? You have SUI, some guys have XRP, I have HBAR, then we have our meme coins, etc. If Brett goes to zero, it's like, oh, fuck, it's bad. It was fun while it has, but you learned a lot of lessons, okay? Maybe meme coins and base coins, it didn't get listed. I've learned a lot being in Brett, believe it or not. Is it ever going to get listed on Coinbase? Hasn't happened yet. Might happen. Who knows? But I've learned a lot from being in these coins, and that's worth the investment to me. And that's what it's always been about. When I used to do dropshipping back in the day, and we used to have guys, one of the courses I bought, people were panicking about spending $20 in ads and not getting a sale or not getting somebody come on their website. They were just panicking. I was quite prepared to spend that $20 per day, although it was a lot of money to me back in the day because I had no money, okay? That was worth the $20 just to learn. Okay, why did they not click my website? Why did they not buy? Was it my website? Is it the product? Okay, and when somebody did buy, why are they refunding? Did the product take too long? So I'm always about investing money to lose, but to learn something. And it's always been the same game with YouTube, right? We spend money on this podcast studio. If it gets me a return, if it doesn't, but I'm quite prepared to learn that to see what the outcome is. And it's always been the same game. In the gym, you're taking supplements, you start a new program, maybe you buy a personal trainer. You don't get results immediately, but you know down the line, if you keep trying and you keep eating healthy, you're going to get some sort of results. So that's what I would say.
These are those moments where you learn. Like I have a really close friend of mine out here who I finally got to start investing Bitcoin at like, 75,000, Ethereum under 2K. And he was going really light at first, but then as things started to get hotter, he was starting to go heavier and heavier, making like 5K buys and stuff like that. For him, pretty big size buys. And then now that it's all coming down, a lot of his profits getting erased. He's like, what the fuck is going on? And his averages are a lot higher than they started. And so now it's a place where he can learn these lessons of where he's now getting excited for these lower prices, lower his entries, not going as aggressive at all-time high, getting more aggressive down here where people are scared when the price is lower. So, like you said, you gotta pay to learn sometimes. You gotta learn the hard way sometimes, which again, he's still in profit, but you gotta learn these lessons.
Nick begs, my man's browser tabs give me OCD. Yeah, I'm preparing a YouTube video, so don't worry about the tabs. Okay, all these tabs are structured to give the most value possible. Am I leaner, Parker? A lot of people are saying I've got leaner. Am I leaner? Do you think I'm leaner?
You hop off the sauce, bro?
No, I'm leaner, bro. I'm eating healthier, bro. I'm leaner. I don't know. Have you started boxing yet? In 2 months' time, we're going to fight.
Start fighting?
Me and Parker are going to fight in February.
Start next week.
Okay,
Are
next
we
week.
Stream it?
We're going to stream an absolute fight in Unreal Gym on my channel. 3 rounds. Friendly fight.
Join Misfits?
Friendly fight. Join Misfits. And why not start a real business? I did make 1K every day. Well, I make more than 1K every day, believe it or not. So I don't know if you believe YouTube is a real business, but we have our 10K fast track, and we'll just share the real numbers. We help over 116 guys right now, okay, that are high level guys, some lower, some higher, and we do more than 1K per day on average. If you don't think YouTube is a real business, that's fine. But I've always wanted a business where I could leave, okay, and that's why you probably started your YouTube channel as well, right? You want to be able to travel the world, make content what you like, and if you help some guys, they'll buy from you. That's the game. At least for me, I never wanted a business where I was tied to the UK. I open up a little coffee shop and I'm stressing about taxis, I'm stressing about the customers, I'm stressing about rent. I want the chillest life possible, and YouTube has gave me that sort of freedom. So whatever a real business, $20 on Parker. Yeah, there's no chance.
Yeah, they're saying I got to walk out in the robe before the fight.
Yeah, the robe that I bought you, by the way.
You're gonna bring yours? What is it? The red one?
I think my ex-girlfriend wears it, so maybe she'll give me it back when I go back to the UK. Yeah. Next point I want to make is here's the reality of cryptocurrency, right? The reality of cryptocurrency is 2022, 2023 when Bitcoin was $16,000. Who queued up? I was in this line. Were you in this line? I was in this line.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was in this fucking line. But most guys, especially most of my friends in the UK, were in this fucking line when we got to 100K. Okay, now it's not bad. They're down 7, 8K. It's tough though. If you were to take this to altcoins and put this at SUI at $5 and to put this at HBAR at 40 cents, put this at XRP at $3, whatever it was, put this at Solana at 250, that's where you're really bleeding out. So who was in this fucking line? Okay, and it's always the same thing. You go back to 2017s or whatever this one would be, it was probably lower than 9,000, it was probably 3,000. Who was in this fucking line? And who was in this line at 2017 peak? Yeah, we all wish, right? Because this is where you can't lose money. You don't lose money here. It's impossible to lose money unless Bitcoin went to zero, but if Bitcoin went to zero, okay, it's game over. We lost. Reality now is who's going to be in this line? Okay, if we do get a 150 peak, if 125 was peak, doesn't really matter, right? But who's in this line right now? Okay, now do we go lower? Maybe this should be 65K. But if you're DCing on the way down, you want to be in this fucking line. You don't want to be in this line. And this will eventually be 1.5 million. That's the reality. What I believe in. If you don't believe in that's fine. Why are you here? But that's the reality. You have to get in when nobody's fucking interested. It's almost like I see so many comments as well. Everybody's panicking, everybody's selling. That's usually a good time. Just what I've experienced in the last 5 years, when everybody's talking about selling, it's usually somewhat, again, I'm not calling the bottom, I'm not saying anything like that, that's not what I'm saying, but it's usually a good time where most people are wrong. Most people are wrong. Okay? The reality. And again, who's going to be in this line? The 108K, the 95K, the 90K today. And guess who's going to be in this fucking line in 10 years, 20 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. It's the same fucking thing. You want to be in this line, you want to be in this line, or you should have been in this line. I wish I was in this line. And maybe now's your time to get in this line. I don't know. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And it operates on every time frame. Like there's going to be this max fear on multiple time frames. And just right now we're hitting these lows. And I think it's never a bad time to run and buy some when everyone's running for the door. There's people in our community and people we know and friends in real life who, when I get texts from them freaking out saying that they're selling and this and that, I know it's probably a good time to buy. And the opposite is true whenever the market's doing really well. Whenever I'm getting all these super happy texts, whenever I'm playing music in my car that I don't normally listen to, and I'm feeling like, hot shit playing Jordan Belfort in the car, it's probably a good time to sell. So you got to be aware of these things. You start to pick up on good times to buy, good times to sell, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's just perspective, man. It's just perspective. How's the damage looking in your portfolio?
How long-term is your vision?
How's the damage in your portfolio? Your damage percentage-wise?
Percent-wise, SUI and Solana hurt me bad, down like over 50%. Which I'm pretty heavy in Solana and SUI. Full disclosure, thinking about a large rotation of like all my Solana over to SUI, but that might not age well, so we'll see.
Do it.
But
do it.
I'm very heavily considering. I'm looking at the relationship on the chart, and I'm thinking might make that move.
Okay. So again, the damage to my portfolio.
88 to 84K Bitcoin. I think that's likely. I agree.
And honestly, for the long term, it doesn't fucking matter. Honestly. Like if you're buying Bitcoin at 84K, if you got
like a 10% difference.
Yeah.
Which
does
for crypto
it matter?
is just not a lot.
Are you going to look at that in 20, 30 years? And nobody wants to wait this time, but are you going to look at that in 20, 30 years time and say, damn, that 10%, it's not going to change your life. The thing that's going to change your life is taking action when it's tough. That's what will change your life. And if that is the business, if that is the gym, if that is crypto, is that whatever you're trying to do, that is the thing that changes your life, not the fact that you're sitting there trying to get a 10% discount, a 20% discount. The altcoins, that will change your life to the bad way if you get it wrong. Don't get me wrong. That can definitely happen. But again, you might have to lose a couple $1,000s to learn something about cryptocurrency like we've all had to do. I had to spend $950,000 in 21 to learn that fuck. And I'm probably, maybe some guys in chat and saying now he's spent $950, now he's going to spend $1.3 million to learn this cycle and he still hasn't learned anything. That still might be the reality, but this Bitcoin will always be my Bitcoin. In the last bull run, the Bitcoin was in Celsius. So like, at least I'll always have that 4.5 Bitcoin, especially right now. Now, if we do get a blow off top to 150, whatever, go on.
If you're scared to, you can start a window. So like from now till Christmas, let's say, you start DCAing in at these prices down low. That way, if price keeps going down, you keep getting better entries. But if price takes back off to the upside, at least you got in. And you're not fumbling back to the top later. At least you got in at good prices. So I think that could alleviate some pressure as well. And never a bad thing to do, just to set those buys around that 90K down to 83K and just buy on the way down over the next couple of weeks. And we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah.
And you'll be thankful either way.
So just touching that point because I think this hits home for a lot of people. Again, the reality of my portfolio is down 500k, but we're still up 500k, give or take, or 400k, whatever. And I can only tell you, you can probably chime in, and maybe you guys at home, if this was my first rodeo, I probably wouldn't be coming up on stream. All right, it would be like, fuck, I would be stressing about this every single day. But you can probably see how chill I am. It sucks. It's a little bit of devastation. But in the last one, when I lost everything, I didn't speak to fucking anybody. Anybody. My mom was texting me, girlfriend was texting me. I literally lived in a hotel for like a month because I just could not handle the fact that it actually was gone because of Celsius. That was number one. And I just couldn't speak to anybody because they all thought that maybe I did well and I took profits, etc. But that wasn't reality. But now it's just way more chill because we have been in the game for so long and we've pretty much seen everything that cryptocurrency can do. I've pretty much seen it all. I've seen the scam meme coins. I've seen the 20% candles on the way down. I've seen the 20% candles on the way up. I've seen my portfolio swing hundreds of thousands of dollars to the upside, to the downside every single day on bad or good days. I've seen it all. So there's nothing really that can phase us right now, to be honest. Like that, we've seen it all.
We're jaded, man.
We're jaded, right? We're jaded. So the current stats of the market, I want to share this. This is one of our guys called Joe. He shared this in our group. And he was talking about basically in the last 41 days, we've lost $1.1 trillion in terms of market cap. It's actually funny here. He's kind of like crypto nears 4.3. Trump announces 100% tariffs. Fucking big dip. Largest liquidations. Trump says American will be number one in crypto. Guess what? Down. And that is where we are today. In the last 41 days, we've lost $1.1 trillion in 41 days. It's a lot. It's a lot of money to be wiped out of the market. So, you know, people have sold, people have gave up, people have lost conviction. But again, do you take this as a positive or do you take it as a negative and you never want to be in cryptocurrency again? I don't know. Are you ready for some stats, Parker? And guys, I've got 8 stats that Joe did share. I'm going to share them with you and I want you to give your thoughts on them. He said the U.S. is preparing 2,000 stimulus checks. Is that true?
Yeah, it's the rumor on the streets.
When's it happening?
Not been confirmed yet to my knowledge, but to be honest, I haven't watched the news too close lately on that subject.
Yeah, I fucking hate the news, bro. Who watches the news?
But if anything, that's good for us.
Good for us, right? It kind of reminds me of C19 where people get free money and guess what happened to the market. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you know what happened? Everybody put it in Amazon stock. Everybody put it in Bitcoin. You know, the stupid people went out to Walmart and bought a fucking $2,000 TV.
And just the fact they print all that money in general. I mean, like that makes the chart look better because dollars are worth less.
You're right. Japan, he said, is preparing a $110 billion stimulus package. Okay, so the same thing. China has approved a $1.4 trillion stimulus package. Okay, the US is issuing $1.9 trillion in treasuries per year. Canada is restricted in quantitative easing program. Global M2 money supply is at a record $137 trillion. There's a lot of stuff still that people aren't talking about that Joe was kind enough to share here with the news. The stuff that we don't want to look at. But one of the bad things that he shared, I don't know if you can see this on screen, maybe I need to zoom in. He basically said, and this is the real, Bitcoin year to date is down 1.3%. Okay? Everything else is better this year, right? That's reality. But it just depends when you got in. If you got in at 2024, you're up 121%. Okay? Everything else you smoked out the water. If you got in 2023, you're also up more than 100%, 156%. So again, did you buy today or this year and you're lost money compared to other asset classes like gold, etc.? Or did you buy in 2023 and you've done more than give or take a 3x, 2.5x, whatever?
The year's not over, man. The year's not over. I don't know. Looking at that, it's interesting to see that there's always 3 green years between the red year. So, not that that's all at all financial advice.
Well, that's because of the 4-year cycle, right? That's literally why.
No.
You go back to 2011.
Interesting.
You start to see, instead of 143%, you start to see 1,470%. Okay? And in the 2012, you've read that up for a 15x. You then almost got a 2x. And in 2013, you got a 55x. Okay? And then that bear market came in. Guess what? 2015, you got 35, 125, 1131. Okay, you then got more than a 10x again on Bitcoin. Guess what? 2018, bear market, you lost a fucking ton of money. 2019 to 2021, the one that we were in, you got 95, you got 301. So it does go down. 100% it goes down because the market cap in this coin obviously goes down. And that's why people speculate with altcoins. But all that to say is the cumulative total value, which I guess means everything combined. I think it's a clear winner that Bitcoin, I don't even know what that number is. Is it 30,000? Is it 307,000? Is it 3 million?
It's stupid.
I don't know what that number is. But what I can tell you is it's destroyed everything. Okay? And that just goes back to this. It's the same thing. Because the guys that bought at 125, they didn't get to see any of this. They seen this. In fact, they see more than that if you bought 125. They see minus 30%. So it's even worse. Everything else is not even close. You know? So again, that's what the question was before. Why don't you sell half and invest in something else? Well, to invest into what? There's nothing else that beats Bitcoin as an asset class if you're in this for the game. And this isn't even a long time. This is 14 years. We were too probably young to open up an account, let's be honest. Like in 2011, I was 14. I don't even know how old I was. 14 or 15 years old. I was too busy. I don't even know. I was too busy looking at my first TRT cycle, pretty much. I wasn't interested in looking at Bitcoin because I had no money. And even if I bought Bitcoin at $1, I would have sold it at $1.50. So none of this matters, okay? So this is all nice, this is cute, but this is if you would have to die to make this kind of money because nobody held all this away. But again, you look at commodities, it's minus 5%. If you were in this for 14 years, you actually lost money, okay? You were in preferred stocks, you were in US cash, 43%, but inflation, I would say you would have lost money compared to the real assets. So it's just putting something in perspective. And this doesn't even include like some of these other altcoins that have done well. I'm sure they're way better, the ones that are still alive today. So if in doubt, zoom out. It's difficult to go back to 2011 and say, what if we should have done this? We could have timed the markets, but nobody can do that. But you can write the next 10 years of your life. And there's no reason why you can't do this in smaller market cap coins, Ethereum, Solana, Suez. There's no reason why if you can't play those games, you can be in this situation. And you don't even have to get 307,000% to change your life, to be honest. So
it's nice to look at people that have been in the game a lot longer too, whether that's Bitcoin, crypto itself, or even just like I know some financial advisors that are, a little bit in Bitcoin, a little bit in crypto, but big in the stock market and everything. And when we have those big crashes like in April, they just look at me and they're like, first time, and they smile, So it's nice that like my buddy, for example, who's freaking out because things are finally pulling back. And this is like he first bought in April. He's looking at me and he's like, dude, what the fuck's going on? And it's just like, I get to smile at him and be like, first time, this is the game, man. This is the game we talked about. These are where the opportunities and the money's made right here. So,
yeah. The other thing I want to talk about.
Long-term, zoom out, believe in the assets you're buying, guys.
I want to talk about Bitcoin to gold. A lot of talk beyond gold. A lot of people flip-flop to gold, okay?
Are you dumping Sui and all in on Solana? I'm considering the opposite, actually.
Okay, so this is the gold versus, hopefully I've got this the right way around. I think I have. Correct me in chat if I haven't. This is Bitcoin versus gold. So gold is roughly $4,000 and Bitcoin's roughly $92,000. So it takes 22,000 to equal one Bitcoin. Is that right? Before I even start talking here.
Wait, what's that?
Doesn't matter. You're not locked in. Basically, what I'm trying to say is people flip-flop to gold, right? So people were like, okay, cryptocurrencies for me, let me just buy gold. We've seen that with the recent price, right? And Bitcoin is bleeding.
Turn on the GG real quick.
I'm on the GG. Let me turn off the SMA. Okay.
You have the DCA signal on there?
I don't use that one. It's too much information. Okay. I just look, okay, perfect entry, potential perfect exit, perfect entry, potential perfect sell. What I'm saying is everybody's saying gold's a better asset than Bitcoin. Well, right now it has been, if you were to look at the last month. But since inception, this is Bitcoin versus gold, remember. This is not Bitcoin against the dollar. Bitcoin has destroyed gold as an asset class, and really what we're trying to play is an investment class. You know why? Because gold is slow. Gold you have to store. Gold you can't take millions of dollars in your ledger or your Trezor. It's not possible, right? You have to pay to keep it pretty much, and you have to either do that or you put it underneath your mattress. Kind of sucks if somebody pulls up and robs you. It's game over. And they can always mine more gold. So just, again, perspective of what we are investing in, because a lot of people would love to say, well, the younger guys here in this chat, if we were to go back in gold at 2010 or 2000, and we talked about Amazon stock before, I'm not going to mention it because people always get mad at me when I mention that stuff because they're like, oh, it's good in perspective. Well, you had the asset class like gold or like Bitcoin to be the new gold 2.0, right? And people always say that. But now people are flip-flopping because gold is on this massive run. But again, what's your time frame? So I think that's very interesting to show gold versus Bitcoin or Bitcoin versus gold that, yeah, gold's beating Bitcoin right now, but what's your time horizon? So what do you got?
If you want to go back to that Bitcoin to gold chart and flip back on the GG, it might show if it's a good time to rotate out on those DCA indicators. I like using those for asset to asset comparisons.
Really? That's cute.
You throw that on and then flip on those DCA signals?
I don't flip on the DCA signals, okay? I don't do that, okay? What I do is, if you're interested, you have a clear sell-off point, give around here. This is on the weekly, right? We could flip this on the daily and we'll get a different picture, but this is basically what Bobby and me created. For example, how this basically works is clear buy signal on the daily in May 2025. You read this up, clear sell signal. Solana is the same thing. Pretty much everything I've noticed on the daily, which me and Bobby have been tracking, everything has flipped into sell. Okay, and that's the reason why he shorted the market, because he probably looked at this and was like, okay, we can make a bunch of money on the way back down. And as far as I'm aware, he will only re-enter when we flip back to gold. He has a little bit more in his chart. It says DCA plus, DCA minus, whatever. I don't want to confuse you too much. But, this is the kind of trading game. Many coins that we all like are now well and truly in the blue, which was a clear sell signal. And if you followed this, I didn't, he did. That's how he's making a bunch of money. Everything is on the blue. Everything is on the blue. Okay? So something else you can look at, even your SUI has fallen off the fucking chart, bro. You should have sold SUI at $3.50 and you would have made 50, even if you didn't short, you got 57, 58% loss here, man. This is falling off. Oh, yeah. SUI is falling the hardest, I think, on this GG indicator.
Heard, man.
It's so far gone, it can't even keep up. No tattoo for you, I don't think.
It's a win-loss. It's a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
There's a bright side, right?
There's a bright side. You don't have to put up with the SUI tattoo, but you'll remember with the guy that lost everything on SUI. But the thing that you said before is very interesting, because now you have that generational story as if you're about it, right? He talked about before, he's got a bunch of Solana, or a decent amount of Solana, that he might potentially rotate into SUI for that, action hero story. Okay? And if he does that and it pays off well, he's one of the greatest traders of the lifetime, right? Because he called it and he did it. If he does it and it goes bad, he's one of the stupidest people on this stream. So be interesting if you do that, if you do keep us posted, because this is so far gone. This is so far gone. I don't know. What else are you holding without being too nitty-picky?
Solana, SUI, Ethereum, Bitcoin. It's got some AVAX. That's like the biggest bags, right? I mean, they were the biggest. They were the biggest. A little bit of a Chainlink. It's been around for a while. I haven't looked at that in like 2 years, to be honest. It's just sitting around. Arrow, obviously, some money machines, and some DeFi pools, but pretty boring bags, to be honest. I'm trying to think if there's something exciting I'm forgetting about.
Why he's doing that, all charts are the same, man. If you look at the GG indicator on the daily, all charts are the fucking same. Like, literally. Link, SUI, Kronos, HBAR, they're all the fucking same. They're all the fucking... I'm talking about top coins. I'm not going to pull up, like, meme coin 6,000 or whatever, right? All these top strong coins that we all like, whether you like some, whether you don't like some, they're all the fucking same on these charts. Okay? Again, just Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're bleeding a little bit less in terms of percentage values. So, your altcoin bags are bleeding a lot. But... do you take that as a positive or do you take that as a negative? Depends how you look at it. Last bear market, HBAR went down to 0.038. Are you ready to swallow those losses? That means 3 years of waiting. We had this question last time, bro. And again, it's all love. If that was to happen, I would actually be in a loss in my HBAR position because my average entry is 0.6, like less than 7 cents just, right? So if HBAR was to go back to that, would I be able to swallow that? Yeah. I mean, nothing would change. Like, literally nothing in my life would change. All that would happen was, fuck, I made a bad mistake. but I'm in crypto for the next 2, 3, 4 decades, however long my life. So I would have learned a lesson. I would have liked to cash it out, been the smartest guy in the room with HBAR. But, you know, you can't win them all. You can't win them all. My whole goal, again, was just to get back as much Bitcoin and Ethereum this cycle as possible, and then I'll play the rest how I want to play it. And it's fine if those do good, those do bad. I just wanted to be able to, like, really set myself up, because I know 4.5 Bitcoin, even 2 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin is probably going to set you up over the long term. The issue people have is income, right? If you have no income, it's like, well, how do you use that Bitcoin, bar from pools, etc., to monetize that, to get you an income off that? So if you have an income, it's probably a lot less stressful than when you need to make cryptocurrency work for you this year. Because again, there's no other option bar than 9 to 5 next year. You're going to be in the same situation because you didn't get to take profits. We didn't get that altcoin season that we all like to have happened. So personal situation.
Rifleman's got some good takes in the chat here. I mean, at least for Americans, maybe not for you, Jake, but never a bad time to buy Bitcoin, gold, silver, guns, and ammo. Man, what's it like? What's it like not being able to buy guns?
I mean, we have knives.
Knives are crazy.
Knives are crazy. Knives are crazy.
You
we actually have.
You just lose your hand. They just cut
we
your
have
hand
machetes,
out,
right? You have machetes, right? I actually, well, no, you do. I actually prefer. I don't want to talk about this too much. YouTube will probably shut us down. But like, I don't know. Like when I've been to your country in Vegas, like it gives me, maybe some UK guys can chime in. Like every time, I remember this story when we went to Nashville, our first BTC first conference. A guy called David in our group. He picks us up. And he just has a gun in his fucking front glove compartment. It's not loaded. You're not allowed to load it as far as I'm aware. The ammo's behind him. That shit just freaks me out because I know in the UK there's a lot of aggressive drivers, okay, that honk, that tailgate. Like, I don't know. I just don't think the UK could handle having a gun in your front compartment and just open up a clip. I just fucking hate that. And guess what happened? We went to Vegas as well and somebody got shot. Some YouTuber got shot on the street. Remember that clip? Got shot.
Not while we were there, but yeah. Same spot. It was like by the
while we were there.
Right?
It was literally there. We just weren't on that street. So it happened while we were in Vegas. We were just probably in the hotel. We were just probably at the BTC conference. We were maybe at Gordon Ramsay's dinner. It happened while we were there. In the UK, you have a chance. You can run.
I think I'd rather get shot than stabbed, bro.
Yeah, but when you get shot, it's GG. So all the cryptocurrency didn't matter. If you get stabbed, you go to the hospital. Nobody's going to continuously stab you. They're going to stab you.
It's not necessarily GG. It's not like a video game. I literally met a guy, and then we'll drop this topic. I met a guy at the gym the other day, and he kind of had a little fucked up head. He got shot. He got robbed at the gas station, shot in the head, and he lived. He's fine.
Yeah, but he's probably, his IQ is probably 50 now. All I'm saying is if you get stabbed, no, he's not fine. If you get stabbed in the arm, I don't want to go in this topic too much, but if you get stabbed in the arm, okay, it's going to hurt. You're going to go to hospital. They're not going to continuously stab you to death. They just want to take your wallet. They just want to take your iPhone. They just want to take your iced out watch. Okay, if you get shot, there's a high possibility that you're just pretty much going to be out the game, not in terms of death, in terms of brain. I would rather get stabbed, have a little bit of pain, and just heal in 6 months. It's absolutely fine. And with a gun, I don't know, I just feel the weird feeling is like, oh my God, it just makes me all weird. So I don't like guns. You got guns at home?
Yeah, you've seen them on the camera before.
I thought they were toy. He pulls up with 2 guns. I was like, those are toy guns. But
there's a module in our group where I had to pull it out and check. Thought someone broke in.
Yeah, somebody's friend got shot twice in the chest and he is fine. I swear. Yeah, but I just wouldn't like to get shot in the chest. Just imagine.
You get stabbed, you're gonna bleed out. Like you're cooked. If you get shot, it's just like a nasty mosquito bite, depending on what it hits.
I don't know.
Depending on the round. If it's hollow points,
I don't know.
Fucked, but
I don't know. I just think you've always got a better chance. Because if it's GG, like if you can protect yourself a little bit and some little skinny little guy in London comes to you, you could probably fucking take him out. A little bit. You have a better chance. If somebody shoots you behind, bro, it's just like, come on, give me a chance. I'm not going to respawn. It's not Call of Duty. It's not Modern Warfare 2. There's no respawn button in life. But with a knife, you have to get close. I don't know. Yeah, he made it mosquito bite. I think machetes are crazy. Yeah, they're crazy. These are big ones. These guys come up in mopeds in London and they'll cut your arm off. But I don't know. Again, would I rather have one arm or get shot in the chest? I think I'd rather have one arm because I can still operate with one arm.
I would be much more scared to be like, let's say I'm just like walking down the street or stuck on a bus with somebody. I'd be much more scared to see a machete on someone's fucking hip than a gun like under their shirt or something kind of tucked away. Like,
nah.
If I see a machete, I would think I'm about to die. Like, that's what I got.
Nah. Or you could just not get involved in this stuff and just keep a low-key profile and just leave the house at a normal time of the day. Again, that's why a lot of guys want to move up to Thailand, right? Because you don't get any of this nonsense. Nothing. Now, we've had some earthquakes here that shaked a little bit out, natural disaster. We've had some wars with Cambodia. What can you do? But everything's chill. Everything's chill. The weather's good. There's no violence. Everybody's nice. So, again,
I'll be there soon.
Be there soon in February, but you're not going to come back because we're going to have a fight and it might be GG. I don't know. We need this conversation. Yeah, so I think it's good to bring some lightheartedness and bring some real world talk into this market because we like to talk about crypto, but it's just like, okay, well, crypto's just a vehicle, at least for me, to do well in the real life, to come out to Thailand, to go back, to buy my brother that new car that I just bought him. That was always the goal. But if we're just talking about cryptocurrency and we're looking at the charts and we're opening up our CMC, because I can look at this all day, bro. I can look at this. Where is it? Put your cowboy. See, he gets a little bit of confidence in the chat and he starts to look at it. I could look at my portfolio all day and I can dwell upon this and I've done this and I can say, okay, there's 500K loss. It makes me sad and I can look at this all day. Should I sell? Should I buy? What should I do? But sometimes it's best to just click this little X and just get out. That's what it's best to do sometimes, man. Because there's nothing you can do because it's already happened. And in hindsight, we could go back, we could sell, we could start rebuying, but it's already too late. Okay, now we're in the game right now, and you get to decide what you want to do. So just don't look. Just don't look. Or if you're a trader, look, buy, sell, get more income, but live your life because you can't go back in time. Okay, the most valuable asset. If I was to give most guys in chart, I seen this reel the other day. It's actually interesting. Question for you, Parker. Question for people at home. If I was to give you $10 million, would you take it? Yeah.
Yeah.
$10 million, you take it, right?
What's the
Nothing
catch?
bad would happen. But you won't wake up tomorrow.
Oh, that's the catch.
Would you take it?
No.
Fuck no. Who else would take that? Maybe some guy that's depressed would go crazy, buy some women, buy a Bugatti if he has time to even sign the contract. Probably not. But guess what? You woke up today, that's worth more than $10 million. So you should write about that. You should feel grateful. Your portfolio's in the toilet, but guess what? You're still alive. You still have another chance. Because a lot of guys didn't wake up today. A lot of guys that have $10 million, that have $100 million, are 65, 75, and they would trade everything to go back to 25, 35, 45. So if you're alive and you're less than 45, 35, with 20K in your portfolio, 2K in your portfolio, minus 2K in your fucking Bank of Scotland account and your Chase account, it's worth more than $10 million because you get to go again. And I've been at minus $2,000 in 2022. That's where I was. So that's the question you need to ask yourself and having some perspective is, would anybody take $10 million, but you couldn't be alive tomorrow? And if you said yes, okay, but you're not going to be alive tomorrow. So today that you woke up and you're watching this live stream and you check your portfolio and you feel a little bit sad, well, that's worth $10 million. So it doesn't really matter.
Nick in the chat said in the April lows, he didn't even check his Coinbase account maybe a month. You know, it just takes a lot of that pressure off. And I can tell you the same, that you've been grinding YouTube quite a bit, and that's kept a lot of my attention off the portfolio, right? So even though I know it's down bad, I haven't had time to just sit and dwell and look and be sad at the portfolio, So being busy and having something, whether that's just working a fuck ton to try to grind and get more money to throw into crypto and keeping the auto DCAs going, so you don't have to lock in and look at your portfolio like it's your ex-girlfriend and just be fucking sad looking at that shit. Okay, so just stay focused on making the money, getting it in, and then buy the dip, boys. Where'd the Stetson come from? Exactly.
He says he's been grinding.
Exactly.
He says he's been grinding.
I didn't say it was working, but instead of been grinding.
Isaac, show the screen. So if you guys like Parker and you want to learn more about DeFi, we'll give him you owe me $20,000 for this, so make sure that's invoiced. I'll take Sui. I'll take your Solana. I'll take your Bitcoin. If you guys are want to help out a bro here, we come with on stream every single Monday my time, every single Thursday my time, day behind for him. And you want to show him some love and you want to learn more about DeFi, you can go and do that. And ignore his thumbnails, ignore his mustache. But he does have a sweet ride. It's not a Lamborghini, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. So yeah, if you want to learn more about DeFi, actually get some value. This is the channel that you want to watch if you're here to learn about liquidity pools and make money when the time's difficult. Or if you just want to show him some love, let's get him monetized. He needs about 2,000
crypto channel.
Yeah, how many more watch hours do you need to be monetized? Not that it's going to make any difference to you, but how many are you at? 2,000 more?
I can look for you real quick. Probably about, yeah,
Yeah.
1 or 2K more.
Give him a sub. Only sub if you're going to watch him, though, because we don't want dead subscribers on his channel. But yeah, he's just here to share his journey. This is his journey. So if you like journeys, if you like Raw Talk, this is what he's doing with DeFi. And he was the one that taught me with DeFi before we changed our group. You know, he was one of my first 50 customers, I would say. And he started talking about DeFi and how he's making money way back 2 years ago, whatever. Nobody listened until he was saying he was making 10K per month, and all the ears picked up. And that's when we decided to go hard on DeFi and teach 160 members right now. So great channel, great dude, bad haircut, small physique.
Chill the fuck out.
But bar from that, he's in the game, you know? So that's what I would say if you like that. Cool dude. Yeah, subbed. Nice. We got 30 minutes left. It's been a fast chat, bro. Is that the time? 9:17? Fuck. Zesty too. He is gay. Can confirm.
Bro, stop. Don't tell them that.
Anything, Parker? I've done a lot of talking. Okay, we made $5.
Whoa, donation.
Nice. And you know what's funny about that donation? Tom likes money. He wants $2.50 off that. You know what he can do? He can F off. Because YouTube takes $2.50 from that. What are your top 3 coins for pools? Love the question. We spoke about this before. What are your top 3s? I'll give my top 3s. Now, top 3, before we even talk about this, top 3s for what?
Depends on the goal a little bit.
Top 3s for goals, top 3s for making a fuck ton of money with high risk, top 3s for being somewhat here in the next 6 months, not the 6 hours. Difficult question. He does have a bad haircut. What are your top 3 pools for? I'll chuck one to you for. I'll do like highest paid pools because I know that. Although they're risky, you can do safety ones that you like, maybe ones that Grant's doing, etc. That doesn't pay you crazy amounts, but is good in times like this.
Medium risk, good returns. I mean, so funny enough, some of the highest paying pools I'm looking at right now, like, so for example, Sui, right? Part of the reason I love their ecosystem is that the DeFi stuff pays so good. So 2 of the pools I've been experimenting with lately is like Bitcoin to Sui, 2 large caps. It's not paying super exciting. It's getting around like 60%, but on Bitcoin to Sui, phenomenal. But on Sui Chain, I'm even seeing there is, I'm on Cetus, by the way, not Turbos right now, but looking over at, I've had this test position open of wrap Bitcoin to USDC. So about as risk off as you can get for being nervous about this market right now. And it's saying 190% APR. So making over 10% a month Bitcoin to USDC. It's probably going to drop now if everyone watching this fucking stream hops in on this fucking pool. But still, 190% on a Bitcoin position, that is actually quite wide. It's covering where I think price is going to move between the next couple months. So 190% though, on Bitcoin USDC. I don't think you can really beat the performance for risk level right now in terms of how everyone's feeling about the market.
Okay, give one more.
Ooh, one more. I mean, it just depends on what you like and what you hold. So AVAX to Bitcoin, I feel like I'm just trying to give low risk right now. You want something juicy? Aster. Aster's been paying good.
Where's that on? Is it on VFAT or no? I don't want to go on another platform.
Should be on VFAT, yeah.
How you spell that one again?
A lot of the guys in our group, Aster to BNB and Aster to USDT, has been paying really, really well. It's been pretty consistent. And it's not like a low cap shitter coin anymore.
Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of bills here. Good TVL. And again, it's always better. Tom likes money. And we always teach our guys, like, what coins do you have in your portfolio? That's the first thing you want to do. It's the first thing you want to do. So I'm guessing you have some good coins, maybe have some shit coins, etc. Come on VFAT. Type in the coins. That's the first thing that we would do. Because when people join our group, we don't have to tell them about the top 3 coins for pools. We can say, what are your top 3 assets you believe in that we'd like to get you more on? Because then we get a win-win. It's a guaranteed win-win if we can answer that question. Some of the highest paying ones with the most risk, we've got a guy in our group, we always talk about him, called Kyle. He loves the Zora Ethereum pool, and I think he's in the Zora USDC pool. His whole goal was 100K in Zora. I believe he smashed that, and then here's something you probably don't know, Parker. I believe you made one video on the Zora platform, and he's going to give you 10K worth of Zora. Did he tell you that?
I don't think so.
Okay, a little Brucey bonus for you down the line. You're going to get 10K worth of Zora. No. I don't know what that's worth. He should have gave it to me because you posted one shitty video on Zora platform, but whatever. This is paying a lot, man. This is paying 1,000% on a 28% width. You can make it pay less if you want to go even more wider. I still have this pool open. I think my width is 75%. Last time I checked, it was still paying over 15 to 20% per month. Problem is, I said I would give you high risk. Zora, have you heard of it? Do you know about it? I don't know. It's a high risk coin, high reward. The other one I can give you is one that Bobby that we had on yesterday likes. It's called 4. Again, do you know what 4 is?
Oh,
I don't
that
have this
thing?
bill. Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing. So right now you
That
can
thing
get
was paying Bobby like 2,000% APR for the longest, though.
no.
The thing was
Right.
paying him like insane levels of fucking income.
Right now you can get 4 in BNB, which we all say BNB is pretty good. 56% with the range. You're getting more than 30% per month. Pretty fucking crazy. Again, I'm giving you high risk, so you shouldn't do this unless you know what comes with the risk. 4. What is 4? If you don't know, go and have a look at it. This is not a paid promotion. 4 can do what they want. 4, if you want to pay us, we'll be fine. But 4 is 4. I never heard about 4 before he mentioned it. So there's a wide range pool, 56%. And again, just bring up your high risk coins you have. Chances are you maybe can find them in VFAT. Maybe you have to go to other platforms. But again, your top 3 medium to like low risk, probably going to find them in your portfolio if that's Bitcoin, Ethereum. Go into Orica for Solana pools. Maybe there's some render pools you like over there. He uses Cetus. You can use Turbo Finance again for Sui. Walrus, he always talks about. A little bit more high risk in my opinion with Walrus, but you know, it's probably a medium risk for him because he already has it. So that's the first thing we always say to do with pools, man. And again, hopefully you enjoy this free value because you don't have to pay us for just to ask that question. Even though you did pay $5, I would have asked that question for free if I would have seen it. We'll give you everything for free, man. We'll give you everything for free. Everything for free. So that's what I would recommend. If you want to monetize your assets, asset to asset, I like more than asset to USDC because if they bleed, they usually bleed together. If they pump, they usually pump together. If you can find correlations. But yeah, Tom's like money. Drop the link. Drop the link. If you want to. I don't even know the link. This is how not long. I don't even know my link. Find it on the YouTube page. Sorry, Tom. This is just like, we don't care about people joining our group. If you find it, you'll find it. We care. It's good. But like, if you find it, you'll find it. I can't even find it. Parker's probably going to drop his link, but book it through my link.
I like that in
Like-
chat. And the information's free. The implementation is what won't cost.
Yeah. If you
You can
want
definitely
more.
learn everything from us and do it yourself. Like take all the actions yourself. But
And you should.
if you want,
should
just like that.
take the
Mhm.
$100 risk and go and get results, and then say, okay, well, these guys have gave us some value. Come back to us, and if they say, okay, I don't want to fucking pay these guys, just do it yourself. That makes me happy, and that's how I can die happy as a man. Because I don't need it. I don't need it. He needs it, but we'll die happily knowing that you made some money in a bear market, in a sideways market, in a bull market with pills. Because when he showed that to us, I was so fucking grateful. And if I give it back to you, and he can give it back to you, we all win. So that's what I would do. Anybody that's watching this, Tom Likes Money, go and do that. You'll find out how to do it. We have 6 minutes left, man. Time's flying. Time is flying. Any more interesting questions, Parker? I always give you the goal to find them.
Let me scan real quick. Same time.
Yeah, see, he has one job
That
on
was
these streams,
crazy.
to find questions, and now we're losing
I'm
retention
trying to find
in
like
real
good
time.
stuff that isn't like bad, like bad questions.
Yeah, so some guy's down
Mark, why don't we back over $1
60%.
soon?
That's not a question. It's a stupid question. This guy's down 66% with a hole in his shoe. If you're down 66%, I'm guessing you bought Sui's top, Solana's top, maybe Bitcoin's top. And again, what's your perspective? You know, right now, this should be 125, give or take. You're this guy. This is you. Okay? But eventually, you can be this guy. Okay? If you want to try and be a trader and try and be cute with it, that's fine to try and make up that loss. But right now, you're this guy. So you just have to wait or do nothing. If you can't handle it, you sell. But I can just say from personal experience, speaking to people back in the UK, speaking to older people back in the UK that are interested in cryptocurrency, they panic sell and then they end up rebuying higher. That's just what I've seen. That's always what I've seen. They always fucking do that because they realize that they made a big whoopsie doopsie and cryptocurrency was actually for them. They just had to learn that lesson. So me telling you is probably going to save you some money because you're probably going to want to be in cryptocurrency in the next 10 years anyways. So if you're down 66%, it's probably due to some shit altcoin, whatever. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's due to a good altcoin. But the only thing you can do to bring that down is DCA lower, like I did in HBAR. That's all you could do. I put $40,000 in at 14 cents. Didn't understand that this was a bear market in 22. All I could do was buy again in 23 and 24 at 3 to 6 cents and bring that down. That's all I could do if I like that coin. If you don't like that coin, you get rid of it. and you look at something else, or you hold it and you start buying other coins to build up that difference. It's all you can do. There's nothing else you can do. Or you put it in pills and you start to make that back up. Link in description, even though there's no description. GG.
In chat, lost a lot to the liquidation event. Most of the portfolio, I wasn't playing it safe. Yeah, I mean, I'm very anti-leverage in terms of like trading, taking out 5x, 10x, that type stuff. I do like leveraging against my long-term assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and using that to run pools. I'm a big fan of that strategy actually. But yeah, man, even then I'm borrowing like 30 to 40% at most, really. And you got to be careful with leverage, guys. Leverage is you can make a lot of money really fast, but it will destroy you just as fast too. Leverage is the only way to lose money because you can actually get liquidated. If you buy Bitcoin too high and you hold it all the way down and then back up, you'll be in profit. If you buy Bitcoin too high with leverage, you're cooked. You're cooked, man.
Yeah, you are cooked. I remember, when was it? There's a guy in our group called Q. I always tell the story because it's so fucking fun. And we laugh about it right now. No hard feelings to Q. He's probably watching this because he never sleeps in the UK. Q, go to bed. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Go to fucking bed, bro. Basically, he put on a trade. He was winning some trades. I can't remember if it was 23, 24. It was somewhere around here on the weekly. He was winning some trades. He started to get a little bit more confident. He was pulling up to the casino every single day with XRP, right? And the best thing he should have done was realized he got ahead of the game and used that to stack XRP or just held XRP because he would have been up massively anyways. What he did was he decided to long pretty much XRP, give it around here, I think it was July 2023. It started to go on a big run. He was like, okay, I want to catch that. We might be going back to the $3 to $5, okay? And it went against him. He went to the swimming pool. He came back and he lost pretty much all of his XRP on that 10x, 20x leverage trade. So he won so much, but he gave it all the way back in the next week. So trading, leverage trading, unless you're Bobby, unless maybe you have a GG indicator, it's a dangerous game, especially if you haven't put in the time. Because trading's a full-time thing, man. Most of the traders we speak to in our group, in real life, in Thailand, they are looking at their screens all day long, and that's all they do. For me, that wasn't the lifestyle I wanted. It was to be able to buy cryptocurrency, have a good YouTube channel, give some value, go to the gym, go home. That was it. I didn't want to look at my screen all day. When I look at the screen, I get sore eyes. I don't want to do that. If that is for you, you got to put the reps in. And he had to go through that painful lesson to now be where he's at today, where he bought back the XRP, and he's fine now. But I can tell you, when this devastation trade came in, he was very distraught. He was very devastated. But he had to pay the price to learn.
In chat, 65K in XRP, had a mental health flare up, got encouraged to put it into a meme coin, and it was a scam. GG's in the chat.
That 65K would now be worth, even at $2, even at $3, would be worth, I don't know, more than 100, right? I don't know if it's 65K XRP or 65K dollars, but yeah.
It's just, yeah, it just really sucks to see, man. Why did I skip your questions? What question? What did I miss? Let's see. Skibbity, scroll up. Jake, do you still DCA render?
No, it's this one. So the last question, we have 1 minute.
Meters?
Let's say 60% top was in October. This is for you, Parker. He's talking to you. Let's say the 60% top was in October. Will you do de-risking on the reef rally? Can't even speak. 107K or 110K, or gamble that 40% for another all-time high? 30 seconds.
If I had leverage positions, like if I was like running big leverage, it wouldn't hurt to de-leverage those positions. Any profits I'm making in pools at that time, I'd probably be taking into cash. But I mean, I do plan to. I'm really hoping we go to lower 80s. I'm going to big buy. So
the indicator is a GG indicator. You can also get it again. We give that to guys in our group. So on my channel, find the 10K fast track link. It's a custom code that we made. So if you want it, you can book a free call, and if it's for you, great. But yeah, this is our custom indicator. I got one last question. It's 9:30. Parker, you wearing any clothes?
Bro, come find out.
Told you he was zesty. Isaac ends the call. Goodbye, guys. Stay tuned. We'll see you on Monday